The signing you're most excited about is Gyökeres.
Gyökeres, yes. For me, I mean, it's only right. My hands have been right here, just ready to bring just bring up the mask.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
It is insane that Chelsea find a way to sell their Deadwood for very high prices. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. The reason we've bought a new front three.
Who's gonna play the front three? You can just say who's gonna play the front three. Now that you have all of them.
Can you let me speak? Season predictions, guys.
Chelsea first.
Hey! Hey! Have a word within that rest!
I will be accountable to this. I will be accountable to this. No problem.
I want everyone here to talk about the one signing they're most excited about.
He's an 18-year-old.
You can't just say that, bro. Welcome to Four at the Back podcast. I'm your host, Ted Kodawa, and these are my three co-hosts, Cairo, Kimathi, and Alex. Chelsea fans and Arsenal, yeah. These are the people who will, for the next foreseeable future, will be talking football, banter, and everything that you probably like. Mr. Cairo.
Yes, sir.
Please introduce yourself to your new fans.
My name is Kyra, as you can see. I'm actually an Arsenal fan wearing a Chelsea shirt. They did win the World Cup, and I did lose a forfeit. So we're starting on the low, as we would say, but we will be making a lot of progress throughout the season because Arsenal is one of the contenders for the league, unlike other teams that will be introduced in this pack.
What a bold statement from Cairo, the Arsenal fan. Next, we will be going to Kimathi.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kimathi. I'm a student of the game. I'm a supporter of Chelsea as well. I'm very excited for everybody to, contribute and see what we have to offer. So, yes, and my prediction is the shirt that he's wearing. Chelsea blue.
Next, we will be with Alexander, please.
What's up, guys? My name is Alex, like my dear friend here. Just like my dear friend here, my blood runs blue.
Mm-hmm. Orange.
Chelsea all the way. Chelsea all the way. Mm-hmm. It's very nice to have our colleague here supporting us in the Chelsea colors.
Yes, of course we are.
Current World Cup champions. And this season is going to be very interesting. And the good thing is you guys will all be here to share this with us.
You know what? Wonderful. Guys, so here's the deal. This podcast will be your weekly dose of football. We'll be diving into Premier League, MLS, the Champions League from time to time, transfer gossip, predictions, and of course having some fun, roasting and bantering each other. That's just part of football. And we would love to have you along the way. Since the new season is upon us, we're going to go all in. We're going to start with the transfers that we've seen this summer so far. Predictions and bold takes for the 2025-26 season. So let's get right into it. It's been a whirlwind of a transfer market so far. I know you guys are probably happy with how your clubs have been maneuvering through their business this summer. No one has been complaining about anything. And through the discourse on other social media applications, specifically Twitter, people are happy. So,
or does that include Manchester United?
It does.
I don't think it does. I don't think interesting.
We will stick to facts, and it is factual that Manchester United fans also seem to be very happy, especially with probabilities that maybe we might get more signings. Okay, people. First talking point, the cares of the summer transfer window. I want everyone here to talk about their one signing, it doesn't have to be about you for your team, but the one signing they're most excited about in this summer transfer window. I'm going to go first. Yeah.
I'm excited to hear what you have to say. United.
I'm not going to lie. For me personally, the most excited transfer that I'm excited to see in this season is Bryan Mbeumo. For me, I think he is someone on the rise in his football in his football career, and I think United have signed him at the right time. You know, I think if it clicks, he could be a really, really good player for Manchester United. We're gonna move on next to Cairo. Who do you think?
No, wait. Why are you going just speeding past that?
We're here to talk
If
about
and might your words inspire such confidence.
Wow.
If and might. All right, Cairo. No.
I mean, I'll let you handle that when we get back to it. But for me, I think that's a great signing for Man United. You needed a lot of changes, as we all know. And being objective, it's a good signing. I'm really excited to see what he can do. And he's proven. Once you have a proven player in the Premier League, he'll get some goals, he'll get some assists. But I believe, for me, I mean, it's only right. My hands have been right here, just ready to bring just bring up the mask. It's a simple answer. As an Arsenal fan, we know what it is. The other fans know what it is. They are afraid. If it clicks, it'll click.
guys.
Victor,
You know what?
Gyökeres.
I've got something for you.
Victor
Anytime
Gyökeres.
Gyökeres blanks in the Premier League
yes.
game,
We'll-
instead of this, I want you all to do this. Because he's wondering what's going on, man. What's happening?
For Arsenal, we needed a striker. We needed a central midfielder, a defensive midfielder, and I think we've done that. But the striker was what can get us to the next level.
So, what you're saying is the signing you're most excited about is Gyökeres?
Gyökeres, yes, 100%.
just-
100%. Yeah.
We'll move on next to Kimathi.
Is an 18-year-old.
You can't just say that, bro. Bro.
Okay, I hear it now.
Yo, bro. Damn.
I think he meant the Chelsea player,
Yes.
Esteban.
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 Why
That
are you most excited about Esteban?
Because he's a player that people don't really see what he has to accomplish.
Okay.
He's someone who has something that
You can train.
he has a mission to go to, and he knows what he's getting into. And at 18, bro, all of us were at 18. He's at Stamford Bridge.
Fair enough.
He's
Fair
at
enough.
Stamford Bridge.
Well,
And from what we saw from the last game, for me, one to watch.
fair enough. I mean, you guys can comment here. What were you guys doing when you were 18, you know?
Hey!
The question.
Next up is Alexander. Go on.
Honestly, in the same trend as my other two colleagues here, talking about their favorite transfers from their specific teams, I'm also going to jump into that bandwagon
Yeah.
because there are three players I'm excited about. I'm going to list them all, then I'm going to give my top. Three signings for Chelsea I'm excited about is number one, Esteban, like Kimathi said. Number two is Joao Pedro. And number three is Jamie Gittins. Now, I'll skip over Esteban just because my colleague already spoke and I agree with everything he said. For Joao Pedro, Chelsea fans know this. And actually, all fans know this. We have been looking for a striker for years. For years. Guys, Diego Costa is still in my mind.
Wow.
Rent free.
Fair enough.
And it's been almost 10 years since he left.
Fernando.
That's even long. That's even older. That's even older.
What?
So I'm tired of living in the past. And the things that Joao Pedro has done in the World Cup, in the Club World Cup, as well as in the first two preseason games, seem very exciting. I'm looking forward to him being there. Now with Nicholas Jackson, on his way out the door, I feel like Joao Pedro could be our starting striker, and I'm expecting great things from him. His finishing is, I think, better than Jackson, so can't get any worse, can it?
It really can't. It really can't.
I don't think it takes much to be better than Nicholas Jackson at finishing. To be fair.
Well, actually, there is a striker in Man United. I digress.
You know what? I walked right into that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't negate the fact that it doesn't take much to be a better finisher than Nicholas Jackson.
That is true. That was, in fact, even Chelsea fans know that. That is very true. Then, the last but not least was Jimmy Gittins. Now, I want to speak very highly of him because he's a fantastic player. But at the same time, I'm not blind to Chelsea's track record in signing players from the Bundesliga. It has not been very good with Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, De Bruyne when he first came. So, in that case,
Alex, who scored when we won the Champions League the second time?
Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz.
Yeah, but what else has he done for Chelsea? I'm looking for a player who has,
I mean, fair enough. He had a big moment.
Yeah, he had a big moment.
in that time, but I don't think that can classify him as a successful player.
He was not a successful Chelsea. Yeah, and that I completely agree with Ted. So for that reason, I'll say that the thing I'm most excited about for Jamie Gittins is the fact that Gittins is a direct winger. He'll take a player on and he'll go. Arsenal have Saka. Man U have
And Madueke.
Hold on now.
Okay.
He described a winger that can take people on.
That's next.
I have concerns, yes. I have concerns about the transfer, yes. The amount of money, yes. But with respect to what he described, a winger that takes people on, that is Madueke.
Success.
And will take...
Can we add successfully?
I did not add successfully.
Fair enough. You did not.
But it's a winger who can take people on.
True.
Okay, people.
Yes.
You know what? I respect.
Believe what you want to believe. Yeah.
I respect what you're speaking about in terms of your signings as well and everything. Yeah. And you know what? These are all good signings to have at the top of there. Your expectations, I know, are very high for the people you've mentioned.
Of course.
What I'm going to ask the Chelsea fans. You guys have been linked to Garnacho, Alejandro Garnacho. You guys say that you're looking for a direct winger, which in this case he is. He might not be successful at it, but he is a direct winger. You've been linked to him, and as per what I've seen, Fabrizio Romano says that Chelsea is very close to agreeing a deal with Manchester United.
They agreed personal terms.
They agreed personal terms, and now up to the clubs to agree. They're very advanced. They're very advanced in terms of negotiations.
Yeah.
What do you think about this transfer?
You gonna go first?
I'll point it to Alex. Alex, what do you think about that transfer?
Personally speaking, I mean, people talk about when you're going to buy a new player. Do you want a player who's already played in the Premier League, who's a proven Premier League player, or do you want a player from outside? Now, Garnacho has played the Premier League. Do I think he's a proven Premier League player? No. That's just my opinion. And I think the stats back me as well.
I've got a question before you keep going. What does it define to be a Premier League proven player?
A player who can perform consistently and also have their name on, again, depending on where they play. In this case, for Garnacho, a winger, a name on the score sheet, either for scoring or assisting, basically a goal contribution. Or being very good in the build-up play.
Would you say a Premier League proven player is someone who is successful in the Premier League?
Yes.
And you don't categorize Garnacho as being successful Premier League player?
Bro, English left it. Hey, yo.
As of right now.
Hey, we're talking about English Premier League and English left. Hey, Jesus.
The reason why I wouldn't do that is, I wouldn't classify him as that, is partially due to the player themselves. I have not seen things that are particularly exciting for me with Garnacho. But then also, he's also been in an unfortunate team in the past couple of years that has not given him the opportunity to, portray his best talents. So both of those together are
This is why I asked you that question.
Yeah.
Is because environment is very much key in a player's success. If the environment is not good, there's a good chance that the player might not have the platform to perform.
That's very true.
So we may be working with potential. Do you think Garnacho has good potential?
Oh, potential?
Yes.
He's a very young player.
In that manner, since you think he has good potential, he's only 21. Yeah. So he has potential to be good. Do you think he might be an outstanding player in a team that has a very good environment?
I think he would, yes.
Then why, and I know you think Chelsea has a good environment, then why do you think Garnacho is not a good signing?
Because I don't know when he's going to play. There's enough players, there's enough wingers and strikers ahead of him who he will not displace.
Which brings me to my next point. Why is Chelsea signing all these players?
You know what? I really wish I knew. but jokes aside, The thing for Garnacho is we are going into this season now. We're going to be playing a lot more games than playing last season. So my assumption to this is that Enzo Maresca is looking for squad depth. Right, we're going to be playing games in the European football. We're going to have the multiple cups to play for. We're going to also have the APL to play for as well, right? So I think our starting 11 is already set, right? I don't think Garnacho makes it into that starting 11.
Okay.
But given the number of games and competitions we're going to be playing for the next 9-10 months, he will get some game time.
He will.
Like, for example, look at Nkunku, for example, last season. He played a fantastic season in
The conference
league, but he barely touched EPL football because we already had that set squad.
Wow.
So for that depth, I think that's where Garnacho will come in, and I think that's the idea that Enzo Maresca has.
Okay, I want to wrap this up quickly and move on forward. And do you think it's a good deal to make it at 50 million for someone who's going to be a squad player?
It's Chelsea. We've got the money. We can do it.
Wow. You know what? That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear. Pay the money.
Yeah.
Pay the money, Chelsea. We want the money. United needs the money.
I believe as we move on, we give them that money.
Madueke is fine.
Oh, thank you. We give them that money. So whatever's going on, they've literally pretty much copy-pasted. We've taken Madueke, they've added Garnacho. He'll pretty much do the same.
Arteta, you know what? I think this guy is all in cahoots.
I'm just gonna say Garnacho, good signing for Chelsea.
You know what? We'll have that on record now.
Yeah.
We have that on record. Kimathi thinks Garnacho is going to be a good signing.
Yeah.
Stay tuned to make sure that we keep this guy true to his word. In this transfer window, who do you think is, quote unquote, well, I want to hear, first of all, the most overpriced transfer? And second, who is a potential flop? Yeah? The potential flops that are coming into the Premier League. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to go first.
Save us.
Okay.
Most overpriced player for me is Florian Wirtz for Liverpool.
I concur.
We're on the same page. We're aligned. We're a team.
Oh, Karen, now we can share with him. That was the player.
That was
the player.
For context, guys.
Wow.
For context, guys.
Okay.
Kimathi was quite lost when we were talking about
A certain Liverpool player.
a certain Liverpool player. We didn't mention names, but this guy, he just couldn't, the connect the dots, he just couldn't. He couldn't do it. But you know what? This is why we're here. We're here to learn. We're here to learn and educate people. Okay?
What?
And so now,
Again,
where was I? Most overpriced player?
Florian Wirtz.
Florian Wirtz. Potential flop. Ryan Cherky for Manchester City.
Oh, that's interesting.
And you're standing behind that one?
That's
You know what, guys? This guy, he has the techers. He does.
You're going against
He has
Zola.
he has fantastic techers in training videos. What I will, you know what? You guys can quote me on this. Watch him in the Prem. Watch him change his play style. I remember saying the same thing about Jack Grealish when he was being signed for £100 million. Man was a baller in Aston Villa. Baller. He would do things you want someone in your club to be doing. And when he moved to Man City, a lot of people, obviously me included, doubted that, Guardiola would let him play the way he plays his game. And he didn't. We were proved right. He only has about 17 goals in the last 3 years.
Oh.
Explain to me how that is a successful signing for 100 million. It's not. If Turkey is allowed to play his game, which will be very difficult in the Premier League, very difficult, let alone the opponent, your own manager might not let you play it.
True.
Now, him playing that game in the Premier League and being successful is going to be tough. I know a lot of people are going to come at me and say that this is a hot take. But you know what? Let's look midway through the season. Let's see how he's doing then. Let's see how he's doing in December. You know what? That's mine. That's my potential flop and most overpriced player. So that's Wirtz and Cherky. How about you, Kyron?
You've literally taken the two players that I was thinking about as well, but I back that. But with Wirtz, what I will add is that he'll either do really well or he'll be a flop. Because we've seen a lot of really good players who performed in other leagues come to the Premier League and take time to adjust. And for Wirtz, he may take some time, but for Turkey in general, just because of the amount of players in terms of the attacking options that Pep Guardiola has, he won't have a lot of time. If he's not going to hit the ground running, he's going to be eating the bench. He's going to be sitting on the bench. It's going to get worse and worse. He'll have less and less minutes, which means he'll have to perform and make a bit more like goal contributions with the least amount of time compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's not looking good. But what I will add for me, the next person who I see, it depends. It depends. And that's all the Man United culture. They are trying to change the culture. But for me, I feel like if Šeško doesn't perform as he's coming to United, he may potentially be a flop. But that's just because of the culture that United has right now. Yes, they're moving forward. They've made more signings. They refurbished their attacking positions. But he may or may not be. For me, that's my potential flop of the season is Benjamin Šeško.
Respectable.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm going to ask you, because unbiasedly, is when you look at someone like Benjamin Šeško, do you think he's been bought for the now or for the future? And as per your answer, follow up as to whether that still maintains whether he's going to be a flop if he doesn't perform this season.
Yeah. That's a great question. But what I would argue is that for Manchester United, the future is now. There's nothing about, in 3 years' time, he's going to be scoring 20 plus goals. How you guys have been performing, especially after last season, which we don't need to, we don't need to talk about. Because you're my friend, and we don't need to talk about. We don't need to talk about it. Is that you guys have to at minimum top 6, and because of it's not even because of Šeško, because he was one of our options as well with respect to Arsenal. That was one of our top targets. We do have Gyökeres right now, but in terms of Šeško performing, Højlund right now. You bought him, I think it was last season, if I'm not
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
You see, as I mentioned, he's technically right now, you could probably quote unquote term him as a flop. Just because of the,
that was a disaster of a transfer.
So which means that for Šeško, he has to come in and at least, at minimum, perform better than Højlund. Which isn't hard, yeah.
That buy is not high. It's not high.
But then again, even with your fixtures being the first game, obviously I'm not foreseeing him starting versus Arsenal.
I don't think so.
But there is a lot of pressure on himself, a lot of pressure on the manager, just United in general, because the history is there. You've not been doing well last season, so for me, he has pressure. He may do very well in 2 or 3 years' time.
Yeah.
But for this season, he has a lot of pressure to
100%
and hit the ground running.
I'm not gonna stick on that. We're gonna speak on that a little bit later. Stay here because we're gonna talk about that. Don't worry. Yeah.
Some good insight.
Yeah, some good insight. We're gonna speak about that a little bit more. Yeah, but Kimathi, who is your most overpriced transfer and your potential flop of the season?
Madueke and Madueke both. Paid too much money for that, man. They paid too much. But it's okay. It's okay. But Madueke and Madueke both.
Both Madueke.
Both. You know, when he was playing for Chelsea, he had a certain kind of attitude. Personally, this is just me. I didn't like. You know, he didn't like coming back to defend. You know, it's just his demeanor that I didn't like him because I thought he thought that where he wanted to play is not what was given to him. And you know, in Chelsea you don't do that. Chelsea, there's something different, but I don't know. I might be wrong. Let us know in the comments, but
I got something to that. Cairo looked like he had something to add urgently. I let Cairo speak before I move to Alex. Go ahead.
Personally, for me, because we clearly gave them 50 million to somehow give to Man United. Garnacho, but yes, they're not 5 million here, 2 million there, 3 million. Easy man. We needed another winger on the left hand side.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he won't be a flop. I am not 100% in agreement with the transfer, but I understand what Arteta is trying to do.
Explain to me someone who might not have that insight. I kind of personally, when I saw that transfer, especially when it started with the rumors and then it actually came to materialize, I couldn't understand why Arsenal was buying Madueke. What kind of insight would you have as an Arsenal fan? What do you think Arteta is trying to achieve by signing Noni Madueke?
This is 100% depth related.
Really?
It's all depth related and it also gives
5 million to someone to the bench.
With respect to the transfer market today, honestly,
it is inflated.
55 million isn't actually that much. It is, yes, I'm also in agreement with you guys. It's a lot of money. I would, personally speaking, it's a lot of money. But if you actually think about what he brings in terms of that unpredictability, which lines up with inconsistency, we do need that, especially now that we've added Gyökeres, as well as having Martinelli and Trossard, and giving them that competition to perform each and every single game. In all the competitions that we're playing in, I believe he'll bring something. He doesn't need to do a lot. He just needs to bring at least maybe 10 goal contributions in the Premier League.
And you're happy.
And I'm happy. And I'm
less 10 contributions, 55 million.
From him specifically, I'm happy with that because
55 million.
We'll get back to, as I said, my favorite signing is Gyökeres, and I believe if he can get to close to 20 goals, and everybody else contributes in the way Saka does his thing, Havertz does his thing, Noni comes in, I believe it may be worth it in the end. But we'll, as with everything right now, we'll have to wait and see.
What I would say is, I think when a club spends anything about 50 million, that's
even in today's transfer
in today's market, how many players do you think are signed above 50 million to sit on the bench? If you were to look at any club's track record, how many players signed above 50 million to sit on the bench? How often does that occur? Does it even occur?
Very, very few. But for me, what I'd say is why I say this for depth is because I've not seen him be consistently 8 out of 10 performer. I've not seen that.
He's not.
We don't.
This
know.
is why we question the transfer.
As I said, I am also questioning the transfer.
Finally.
I said that before. I questioned the transfer. But as a fan, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to look at it from Arteta's perspective. And yes, we do not have the depth. And it may be that with the way that Arsenal plays, he may perform better than Martinelli. I don't know. We have to wait and see. But at least he gives us an X factor of some sort with respect to always pretty much relying on Saka or the right wing per se for creating all of or most of the chances that we make. So again, that transfer is very questionable, but we shall wait and see. I believe that there may be let Arteta cook. Let Arteta cook.
You know what?
There's no reason to let him cook. If Arteta is cooking, just tell him that he's not in the kitchen.
You know what?
Madueke,
that
one was it.
Good, a little bit fun to hear that, and also very insightful. But we're going to move on to Alexander. And now as we hear for his most expensive signing and his potential flop. Okay?
So the biggest signing I'm thinking is, the most expensive signing that I think is unreasonable is definitely Florian Wirtz.
Most overpriced, I think.
Overpriced,
as I would say, yeah.
Thank you for the words. Yeah, most overpriced is definitely for me Florian Wirtz. I think that it's going to be very difficult getting into that team, the Liverpool team, and also gelling with that team. There's going to be a lot of signings that they have. They've lost a couple of players, and they've also signed a couple of players. So I want to see how that's going to work. How the new manager is going to, guide them through this. But I don't necessarily have very high hopes for him hitting the ground running this first season. I think he will stay, and I think next year he'll do a lot better. But for this first season, I think that he's gonna come off as an overpriced signing.
I would ask something. Him not being able to lock in a starting position in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
How does that correlate to him being an overpriced signing? Because
For the
it's not him or his ability that dictated how much he would be bought. You know, that was Bayer Leverkusen and Liverpool's negotiations. What makes him an overpriced signing for you?
So then in that case, if Liverpool are willing to spend that money for whatever Bayer and Leverkusen were asking for, it means that Liverpool, someone, the sporting director, the people who handle the transfers and everything, even the manager at this point, if they said, let's go ahead with this transfer regardless of the cost or even at that cost, for me, that shows to me that that clearly this is somebody who's not going to be a squad player.
Yeah.
See, very similar to the conversation you're having with Kyle right now, where at least to me, it sounded like you were asking him for 55 million. So if someone's going to be on the bench, is that actually worth it, right?
Yeah.
And Kyle said 10 goals is good enough for him to make it worth it. Now, is 10 goals worth 55 million? I don't know.
Cairo answered that. Madueke is not going to be as a squad player.
So, yeah. That's my point, right?
Going, Alex?
That's my point. I just think that when I see those kind of prices, I definitely think that this is somebody who's going to get into the team, into the first team, the first 11.
Yes.
Not somebody who's going to come on the bench. Now, that's my point where I'm like, if he doesn't make it into the first team, right?
It makes him overpriced.
Or it takes him a bit of time to get into the first team.
Yes.
Like I said, a bit of time, I mean like the whole season. That's what I'm predicting. I'm saying he's going to be considered an overpriced signing because of that.
But from what we've seen in the preseason, he seems to start almost every game for Liverpool in the preseason.
That's true. That's preseason.
No? You know what? Fair enough.
I mean, to be fair, you could say that Delap has been starting all the games for Chelsea in preseason. That doesn't mean he's going to do that. And actually, now that I mentioned that, my potential flop of the season is Delap.
You know what? That surprises me.
His own team.
Yeah, his own team. That surprises me. I didn't think you would mention it. Why do you think Delap was going to be a potential flop of the season?
Because it's true.
I'm looking at the current strikers that we have right now, their performances in the past couple of games, and even just the nature of the strikers. And in this case, I'm talking specifically about Joao Pedro and Delap. With the nature of these two strikers, I feel like Joao Pedro is going to make it into the team a lot faster because he's not fighting for only one position. He can play across the entire front line.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, his strength is definitely striker.
Yeah.
But he can play across the front line. Delap has only one position to fight for. So unless Enzo Maresca gets to a point where he feels like he really wants Delap in the team and he's willing to move Joao Pedro out of position to fit him in, then that could work. But in general, I think our starting 11, our strongest 11, does not have Delap there.
Yes.
Come in as a super sub, could come in as something else. But just because I do not think he's going to get enough game time, I think he's going to be a flop. Now, that is with regard to EPL standards.
EPL standards.
Like I said earlier, Chelsea have a lot of games to play this season. So in the European Cups and other cup competitions that are in the league, I think that Delap will definitely have a good opportunity to play there.
What I will raise you,
Delap is a good talent, man.
What I will raise you is that I don't. This is a rhetorical call. I don't expect you. I don't want you to respond to it because we need to move on. Maybe Delap was bought for that specific reason. Be someone below Joao Pedro. Maybe that. If you look at it in that manner, then he is not a flop.
Could be true.
Yes,
Could be true.
And also, if you think just now that we're finishing this, Delap's number is number 9.
Yeah.
Chelsea,
The cursed number in Chelsea.
that number in Chelsea is not a good number.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. I mean, we're still in the transfer window, and I want to obviously get by this a little bit quicker so we can move on to the next segment. Who are your winners and losers of the transfer window? Yeah? Think about it. I'm going to go ahead first. I know who the loser is.
If he says United.
Kimati, please. The losers are definitely, in my opinion, Newcastle. Newcastle, for me, have undoubtedly have one of the worst summers I've seen in terms of trying to sign players. Anyone they go for, they lose out on another club.
Okay.
Even if they say, yo, we're Newcastle, we have the money now, we have Champions League football, we have Eddie Howe, who's the manager who's going to make you play good, you know, they're still losing out. I mean, it's a huge reality check for them because they were trying to put themselves up with the big names. I personally don't think they're there. They're not. As I saw Rory Jennings speaking about, saying that people are lured to Newcastle being a sleeping giant when they're not. They're not. They've had one trophy in the last 70 years. So why are we alluring to them that?
A United fan.
You know?
70 years old.
70 years compared to 12 years. And that's just the Premier League.
Yeah.
We had a trophy 2 years ago as United. And that was the FA Cup. It's not a small trophy. You understand? Yeah? So that is, for me, those are the losers. How I look at it, Newcastle are definitely the losers of the transfer window. Now, when I come to the winners of the transfer window, Chelsea for me.
Thank you.
Chelsea for me are the winners of the transfer window.
Thank you, sir.
Really?
Thank you very much, sir.
Chelsea for me are the winners of the transfer window. I'll explain why. Guys,
Thank you.
hold it. I've got
Let him land.
I've got my reasons. I'm not here to convince you
Chelsea,
that my way of thinking is, the best way of thinking. Why I would look at it in that manner is, for me, I don't know how they do it, but Chelsea are really good at selling. They're really good at selling. In terms of balancing the books this summer, with their sales and their buyings, like it's really, really good. It's really, really good. And they've bought Joao Pedro, who looks to be quite good for them.
Looks.
He looks to be quite good for them.
He's
For me,
showing it.
Bino Gittins is also quite a risk, but a decent buy. A risk, but a decent buy.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Those are two transfers that I think have done you well. You're also going to sign Xavi Simons. You're also looking...
Confirmed, yes.
Yeah, no. You're looking to sign.
Yeah.
You're also looking to sign, which I still don't understand, Alejandro Garnacho. Those ones I still don't understand, but the reasons I put you as my winners is because when I look at it, you guys sell so well, and you also buy well. Yeah? When I look at the other clubs, I look at, for example, United. At this moment in time, United has not sold any player. We have spent... Matthias Cunha's transfer counts as last year's PSR because we signed him before the season ended. Yeah. This year, regardless even of that, we've spent on Bournemouth around 65 million and 66 million pounds on Šeško.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but
No,
I know he may have this look. He may have this look. He may have this look on his face. But Brentford had bargaining power because he's a player who scored 20 goals in the Premier League for Brentford in the league. They didn't have to bow down to anyone's demands. They could have demanded what they wanted. And personally, I think if you're going to buy Matthias Cunha for 62 million, which was his release clause, then Brian Mbeumo can't go for the same fee. I had no issue with that.
Sorry, but I just wanted to add, you're speaking as if Brentford didn't do better than Manchester United.
They did.
Okay.
They
Just
did.
checking.
But I'm
Just
not...
checking.
In what way am I speaking as if they didn't do better than Man United?
No, with respect to the chances that you had to convert the goals that you actually scored.
No. Would you put Brentford as a challenger for any European places?
No.
So scoring 20 Premier League goals in a Brentford side is not easy. He scored more goals than any Arsenal player. He scored more Premier League goals than any Chelsea player.
That's true, yeah.
At Brentford. So you want to tell me that Brentford didn't have any bargaining power in terms of any club that comes in?
They did.
So,
I actually mentioned he's a great signing.
He's a great signing. So when I say that amount of money is big, it's not small. But if Madueke is going for 55 million,
I was waiting for that.
Do you think?
I was just, you see,
Do you think
I was assisting you to that side
But
because
no.
I also we want answers for Noni Madueke. We want answers. Please,
But do you think, because the Madueke transfer happened first, you're going to look at that, Elanga went to Newcastle for 55 million, and then you're going to say, yo, Mbeumo is better than these two players. Are we really going to take anything less than that? Because United's first offer was 45 million plus 10 million in add-ons. Brentford were never going to take that after Chelsea sold Madueke to Arsenal for 55. After Nottingham Forest sold Elanga to Newcastle for 55. That was not going to happen. Yeah? That was never going to happen.
we're on the same page.
Never going to happen.
We're on the same page.
Anyway, my losers for the transfer window, Newcastle. My winners are Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Now, Cairo, Go ahead.
As I said, we are on the same page because Newcastle, especially as we shoot this first episode today, Alexander Isak is still on their books.
Yeah.
And if he ends up leaving, then for sure, after rejection after rejection after rejection, for them to lose their main striker, that's the nail in the coffin for
But
me.
you know,
Newcastle,
I
it
heard-
has to be.
I heard they might use the money from Isak to buy Nicholas Jackson.
Please.
I hope so.
You know
I
what?
hope so.
You know,
please,
the thing is,
please.
the thing is,
Please. I hope so.
speaking on that as well, very briefly, it is insane that Chelsea find a way to sell their deadwood for very high prices. It is, I don't know how they do it, but they do it. And also on that, Newcastle don't need to sell to buy, because as you could see, they already put a bid for Šeško because they have the money. They can afford to buy before selling Isak. They don't need to
But
sell.
Johnson can run though.
Yeah, but no, though,
Newcastle.
they don't need to sell Isak to buy anyone else.
True.
They can buy a striker first and then sell Isak.
Yes, but it's buying a striker, buying a midfielder. That's all well and good, but for the same productivity, you're not getting that.
Of course,
Isak, so for me, Newcastle for sure are the biggest flops in the transfer window.
you know, I you know what? Very briefly. I don't need you guys to obviously extend on this, but funny enough, when Isak was signing for Newcastle, he signed for 60 million. Yeah, and people labeled him as a flop before he even touched the ball.
Did they?
Yeah, that was a
When he was coming,
Signings, yeah.
he only had about 20 goals in his career for Real Sociedad. 20 to 25. He was only scoring about 7 goals a season in the La Liga. No one thought he would come to the
It's
Premier
not-
League
yeah.
and do what he has done now. Yeah, it gives you an idea of what things could be given the environment is good for the player. Yeah? All right. Go ahead. Who are your winners, of the transfer?
Which I was going to continue, which you said, a lot of things we do expand on stats and everything like that, but it's actually what a player gives with respect to their movement, how they can even pretty much hold the ball up, everything that a striker should do. Whether you're looking for a number 9, someone to run behind, I believe it's not really all about the stats. And it's always about what the team actually needs. And for me, yes, Chelsea have gotten new players, whatever. They're still doing the thing of getting people they may not need. Garnacho. But
on the same page.
the team that actually I'm concerned about is Liverpool, because Liverpool won the league without any additions last season, and pretty much not all of their transfers, but a lot of their big transfers, their business was done 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Transfer windows open, boom, Frimpong, boom, Wirtz. Yes, we've said he may be a flop, but if he does catch fire and bring in some more contributions, Salah's still there. Obviously, Diogo Jota isn't, unfortunately, RIP. But then with Ekitike,
They also lost Luis Diaz.
with Luis Diaz going, yes, there are a lot of changes, but with respect to the people they've brought in, those are people are going straight into the first 11. Kirkes, Frimpong, Liverpool are they're up there. They're up there.
Well, now that you mentioned it, you see Frimpong, guys. He was next on my list for flop of the season.
Oh,
That guy, you thought Trent doesn't know how to defend? You wait until you see Frimpong, bro. Wait until you see Frimpong. You think Trent doesn't know how to defend? Wait until you see Frimpong, guys.
but for me, Liverpool. Of course, I can't be too biased, but my close second.
We don't need to know. We don't need to
But
know
anyway,
about the close seconds. Anyway, that we just needed to know your favorite. Kimathi, who is your winner and who is your loser of the transfer window?
Chelsea, we have finished everything. Every single club, we have finished everything. So Chelsea, the biggest loser, United.
Interesting.
For the transfer window.
Yeah,
Okay, I would like to hear more.
because what, like the transfers that you guys have don't I don't think so that were necessary. You're looking at the wrong places.
Wow.
United, you guys are lost.
Okay.
Personally, I think you're lost.
Before we even indulge in that, I've got a question. You say that those were the wrong transfers. So explain to me why you think a team that scored only 44 Premier League goals last year, trying to reinforce their attack, is a wrong decision.
My God.
Explain to me why you think that is a wrong decision.
Look at your team.
No. Explain to me why.
I think it's more so the players that you got.
Yeah,
Like
look
the
at-
caliber of players that you
Look
got.
at your team.
Okay.
Your team. You have Diallo, okay? You have Diallo. You have Mount. You have Fernandez. Fernandez is not going anywhere. He's what is keeping you guys actually intact. Yeah. You have so many young players that are looking to get their footing into United. You have so many kind of personalities that they want to stake their claim into that club, and that is going to be a problem. You might think it's not, but they do.
Azad, I'm going to do this quickly again. I'm not trying to change your mind or anything. One, the reason we've bought a new front three, I've explained before.
Who's gonna play the front three? Yeah, you can just say it. Who's gonna play the front three now that you have all of them?
Can you let me speak?
Yeah, I can. I
Not
can.
even-
I've removed my glasses.
Let me even finish my statement
Yeah,
before.
I can. We can let you land.
Let me
It's
finish
okay.
my statement before you start casting me off. Eh?
Mm-hmm.
We've bought a new front three because we did not have goals last year. We did not score. Our top scorer was Bruno Fernandes from midfield and Ahmad from right wing back.
Okay.
You understand? Those are very good players, but don't not disregarding that at all. But we needed new players to play in the front three.
Okay.
You speak about Mount trying to find his footing. He was injured full of last season. You can't rely on a player who's injury prone. Højlund, need I say more? You see that right 10 position to be taken because players like Garnacho, Anthony, not good enough. Not good enough. Mbuemo, better than all the three players I've just mentioned right now. Better than Højlund, better than Anthony, better than Mount, better than Garnacho.
Wait.
Matthias Cunha, better than Garnacho, better than Mount, better than Højlund. You understand?
We understand.
Now, Benjamin Šeško is still a risk. We're still yet to see. But from what we can gather, he's almost definitely better than Højlund. That we can attest to that.
I know that's right.
Now, with a team that is trying to, if you're looking at United's problems, and we're looking at we have an issue with goal scoring, signing a player who scored 20 Premier League goals last year, that's a good signing. Signing a player that scored 15 goals for Wolves last year, that's a good signing. Signing a player that has the potential of Benjamin Šeško, that is a good signing. You cannot tell me that those signings were wrong with what we had before. The players that were there did not make any case for themselves to stay in the starting lineup. That is why United cannot, in my opinion, cannot be regarded as having a poor transfer window. They are fixing a huge problem. Now that they have done.
I concur with you.
I'll also add. I'll also add because the thing with Manchester United sometimes it may be that you wanted signings that make you stand up.
Yeah.
Right. Your Pogba's, your Ibrahimovic, your Falcao's. Man United have been there, done that, and where they are right now, that's not what they need.
Yes.
They need people who, one, are proven in the Premier League
Yes.
and who actually have seen what Man United was in the past.
Yes.
And actually want to get them to that next stage and get them back to the glory days that they're in.
Yeah.
And when I look at Mbuemo and look at Cunha, those are players who, yes, they have not necessarily made a name for themselves in like the world stage.
Yes.
But they have the potential to get Man United there and get themselves up to that level where they're actually like performing, the scoring. Man United are back in. We're talking about them in the Champions League. We're talking about them in top 4.
To be honest,
So
I agree with all of
yeah.
the
So for Man United, they've actually gone away from what they were trying previously
Yes.
because it's not worked. And right now, with what they're doing, I see that it may again.
Hypothetically
Speaking, that's what they need for me,
yes,
and
because they need to prove that they were the right side,
and so do the club to show the fans that they are actually the United of old and make Old Trafford a fortress. Because
yes,
that's not what it was last season.
yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to add, Alex, on that?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I think everything was covered.
good.
Everything was not covered.
We are going to move forward. Alex, give me your
Winners and losers?
winners and losers of the transfer window so far.
So far, it's a good question. The first thing I wanted to ask you was, what do you define by a winner of a transfer season? Are you looking at like a team that made a team that made like a big signing that became a winner of the transfer season, or is it a team that's filling the gaps in their squad that makes them a good transfer season?
Personally, I think for you to have a successful transfer window, you're filling in the gaps that you had in the previous season.
Mhm.
You notice things as you play your season.
Yeah,
You notice you have problems, and immediately the window opens. You know those problems, and you try and plug those problems in. You try and make signings that are going to fix those problems, not just big names.
Yeah.
You don't need just big names. You need something that helps you with your problem from the previous season.
If I may add, and some of those problems are getting people out as well.
Yes.
Because when your team is trying to move forward and create a philosophy and a culture,
Can't be carrying
there's
the
some
weight.
stuff.
Yeah.
As
I
Deadwood.
I agree with you.
But I think those two factors.
So I think using that logic, then I generally think that Chelsea, Arsenal, Man U, and Liverpool have had very great transfer windows so far. They've all bought a lot of players that fit very perfectly into their team. Ted has already gone over all of the attacking fronts for Man U. Arsenal, we know they are glaring striker problem, and they have bought someone who fits that bill. We'll see whether he shall actually perform.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Liverpool as well. They replaced all the outgoings that they had. Same thing with Chelsea. So I think I don't have a top a specific one, but I'd say those four teams have bolstered their their teams very, very well. And I'm looking forward to watching any one of their games this season, especially the head-to-heads. Then, in terms of the worst transfer windows, are two clubs that are currently on my radar right now. Number one is Spurs, and number two, this could be a hot point, is Man City.
Interesting.
Because for Man City, based on previous transfer windows, this one has not given me confidence. Now, that being said, I could very much eat my own words because Pep Guardiola can do a madness. At the end of the day,
he's going to eat.
We shall see whether I shall eat.
But bro, you don't know what Guardiola is doing.
No one knows. That's the point, right?
you are, exactly. When Guardiola gets rid of all his team like that, and he brings in other people, you don't know what he's doing.
That's what I'm saying. It was not giving me much confidence, but I could be wrong. In my own ignorance, I did not know who Jeremy Doku was. And then he came to the EPL, and I saw wonders. Right? But yeah, those two teams. At least I'm speaking about in the top six because I just listed all the top six teams. Those two teams are not giving me a lot of confidence. Spurs still need to find a good replacement for Son. Now that's a very, very, very big shoes to fill.
Actually, now that you mentioned that, we did say that not long ago, today, Sunday, the 10th of August, Fabrizio Romano did give an exclusive that Tottenham are in advanced negotiations to sign Savinho from Man City. What do you think about that?
Wow. If Pep lets Savinho go, I'd be surprised.
I mean, for you to be in advanced negotiations, the club is willing to let you go.
Let's see what happens.
You know what?
I think that he'll be a good signing for Spurs because he's definitely going to walk into that team. In City, of course, we all know how Pep is. He runs with a rolling squad. No one ever knows if they're on the first. The last player to know that they were guaranteed a first team position was Rodri. Other than that, everybody else is up for grabs. So I think if I was in Savinho's shoes right now as a player, I would move to Spurs. I'm gonna get first in football. I'm gonna be playing. I may not be in competitive football like for European cups and stuff like that. Yeah. But still, the opportunity to play consistently every single week, especially the World Cup coming up, I think is gonna be a great move for him.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why would you do that?
Why would I do what? Oh, who
To move to Tottenham.
I just said game
It's
time.
an individual. Yeah.
Yeah, but why would you do that when you are being managed by one of the greatest managers ever? And the way Savinho played the last season, even if Pep was giving him like 15 minutes here,
Yeah.
35 minutes here, whatever, he still excelled.
Yeah.
I think
So why do you go to Spurs? Spurs can finish 17th next season again.
I think if you put your shoe your mentality and put yourself in his shoes, playing 15 and 35 minutes,
It's not enough.
I think you might be playing for the one of the greatest managers to ever be in this game, but it's not enough.
True. As a professional player, I want to play ball.
If you want to play ball,
I want to play 90 minutes.
If you
I
want to
want to play
ball,
as long as I can.
if you want to play ball, if you want the minutes, and if you believe in yourself, you will move to Spurs and show your talent out there.
Exactly. I've already been coached by the greatest manager,
Yes.
as you said, right? Let me take those skills and show that I can actually do it, right? Same reason why Cole Palmer left. He was not going to break into the team. Pep was not going to give him the time, right?
And then
So then that's our
that's
point. That's our point.
no,
He
no,
left
no.
and he's shone. He's shining. He's
Exactly.
He's Chelsea's most crucial player.
Palmer left, he came to Chelsea. He left Man City because Palmer is not the kind of player for Guardiola. But Guardiola wanted Savinho.
But you know how many players he wanted and sold?
Yeah,
It happens. This is football.
it happens.
Yeah, it is football, but why go to Spurs? Why go to a club that just won the Europa League? They were down at what, 17?
Yeah, 70.
So why go there just to play football? Why can't you play at the big leagues? You make yourself a big player. I don't know.
Imagine.
How can you be a big player? How can you be a big player in a team where
If you're not going to prove
10 minutes.
yourself,
Guys.
if you're not going to prove
Guys,
yourself,
Kimathi,
then okay.
Kimathi,
Yeah.
we need to move on to the next segment.
Oh, I was gonna add that. I think that's fine. We can move on.
We're gonna move on,
yeah,
but
okay.
you can add it very quickly.
I'll say for Savinho being Brazilian, and we all know the winners that Brazil has. 15 minutes for whoever you're playing with, like whether it's Mourinho, Pep, Klopp, that's not getting you into the Brazil team.
Yeah,
That's not getting you in the
fair
Brazil
enough.
team.
It's a very competitive
Yeah.
nation, and you know what I would raise is that if you look at it, I don't want you to respond to this because we need to move on to this. But all of you guys, I know, yes, United and Spurs finished 15th and 17th respectively. Yes, but out of the last 10 seasons, how many times do they finish below the top half? It's not a common occurrence.
not.
If we're going based on what they are, it most likely won't happen again because of the players that they have are not they're not the 17th best squad in the league.
They're not even close.
That is called underperforming.
Oh, yeah.
It's same for Man United. It's underperforming. You cannot now say that that's a mid-table team. It's not. I know the banter is there. I agree. But if you keep a level head and look at it unbiasedly, I know you will look at it and you will know that these are teams that belong in the top 6.
Yeah.
If they're coached well, they will finish in the top 6.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Anyway, we move on to the next one. We transition on to season predictions, guys. Yeah? Now it's time for people to get their thinking hat on, a little bit. Get a little bit bold, yeah? How you people feeling? Yeah?
Feeling good. Feeling good.
Now this time, I'm not going to be the one who starts. We're going to start that way, coming this way.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go with top 4 predictions. Alex,
4 predictions.
give me your top 4 prediction for the 2025-2026 Premier League season.
Oh, may I ask, is this in any particular order or giving the order?
You know what?
Because
Like, give it
Let's say to 4 or
in order.
in order.
Order in order.
order.
Okay.
Damn. Okay, fine. For top 4 for this season, 25-26, I'm thinking Chelsea in 4th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Chelsea 4th, Arsenal 3rd. Actually, yeah, Chelsea 4th, Arsenal 3rd, Man City 2nd, Liverpool 1st.
Respectable.
Yeah.
Respectable. Kimathi?
I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but Chelsea first.
Bold.
No, Chelsea first.
Oh no, I hope that works out.
Yeah, Chelsea first. Liverpool second, Arsenal third, and City. But I put Arsenal too high. Man City second, and then Liverpool, Arsenal.
Arsenal 4th?
Yeah,
So Arsenal goes 4th.
yeah. As Arsenal, they are very, very confused about what they want to do. It's just looking like a mess.
Oh, wow.
That top 4 sounded like a mess to me. That sounds like the mess, fair enough.
Okay.
But for me, quick off the blocks. Arsenal first, Liverpool second, Manchester City third, Chelsea 4th. You can come back to me and ask me why.
Wow.
And that's how it's supposed to be done. I don't know what happened here.
Bro, so I said Chelsea, City,
You know what's
Liverpool, Arsenal.
it's all good. We're gonna get to that, but we need our predictions first.
Yeah,
For me, with how I'm gonna go Liverpool first, Arsenal second again, Chelsea third, Man City 4th.
interesting.
So the funny thing is that we all chose the exact same 4 teams.
Yeah.
It's just the order that's slightly different.
Yeah, the order is not.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said, once you put banter aside and you look at it in a certain way, you do know the teams that likely are to finish there,
But
unless something happens that's crazy. Maybe a big player gets an injury.
You know, like
God
Van Dijk.
forbid. Exactly. God forbid if
Liverpool
Cole Palmer gets an
shaken.
injury. It changes the
Chelsea
dynamic.
shaken.
Yeah. Can I ask a question, actually? Because I think, for me, I have a question for Kimathi.
Yeah,
Because most of our transfers have answered a lot of the questions or the positions that we needed to fill in the last season. But he said we're finishing 4th. So I want to know how... Yeah, what's your thought about that? So we've basically signed Gyökeres, we've signed Zubimendi, we've signed Nordgaard. How are we finishing?
The answer to your question is what you're asking me. You've signed all these players. For the last couple of years, how Arteta has gotten you guys to where you are. Now you've changed all of that. Now you guys have to start from scratch right now. All those players you've mentioned, Cairo, how will they fit into the squad that has been built?
As they should. Just as Havertz is now going to be the coming off the bench. Gyökeres is our point man.
Okay.
Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard.
Okay.
Nordgaard is the backup to Zubimendi and Rice. So I'm not sure.
And speaking, I agree with you, Karen, because you guys don't have that.
I'm not. I don't know. Maybe it's you only have. Oh, am I the logo? Am I an Arsenal fan?
Very much so. Very much so.
No. I don't
Very much
see it.
so.
Karen, just confirm, right? You guys have only 2 players who are jumping into the first team directly, right? Gyökeres and Zubimendi, right?
Zubimendi, yeah.
Yeah, so they only have 2 players who need to learn the chemistry for the team. Like, it's a lot less than, for example, Manu, assuming they start with all the entire front 3.
Yeah,
They have 3 different players
Yes,
who've not
it
played together,
takes time.
not played with the team as well.
Yeah.
That's a lot more. For Arsenal, they only have just 2 players.
That's not how Arteta likes to play. So, you know what? I've said my piece.
Okay, yeah.
And we
problem.
can. I will be accountable to this.
No
I will
problem,
be
no
accountable to this.
No problem. I'll also raise my hand as well. If we finish 4th, fair enough.
You know what?
But personally, I don't think we are finishing 4th.
Guys, don't worry. We're gonna have a screenshot up for everyone's top 4 prediction. It's gonna be up on this video somewhere at some point. So just, you know what, we're gonna have it on record. Don't worry about it. We're gonna have a look later on in the season. We need to move forward. Relegation battle. Which 3 teams do you think are going down? I'll start this one.
Okay.
Brentford will go down.
Brentford.
I'll give my reasons.
Okay,
I'll give my reasons.
Please do. Please do.
I'll give my reasons.
Brentford.
Let me land.
Let him cook.
You will have to let me land. Eh? You'll have to let me land. Those are some interesting ones. But I also think Burnley goes down again. I don't think they have the capacity, especially with the signings that they made. Burnley goes down again. Now, for me, Sunderland is an interesting take because they've signed a lot of players, literally fielding a new first 11. And the last time a club did this, coming on from the championship and doing that, it doesn't bode to work well. But you know what? I would love to see them do well. But I would have Sunderland 17th, Brentford 18th, Burnley. Sunderland 18th, Brentford 18th, Sunderland 19th, and Burnley 20th. That's what I would have. Now, as for my reasoning, so we can move quickly. For my reasoning for Brentford going down, lost their manager, lost their captain in Norgard, lost their top scorer in Buemo. Wissa doesn't want to play for them anymore.
Okay. Some huge losses.
These are pillars that built that club. Not built, but made them what they were the last 3 years. Apart from Ivan Toney, who left. But that was one pillar. They could survive with these 4. Lost all 4, not replaced them. Tough ask for me. For them to stay is a tough ask. You think Shada is going to keep them afloat in the Premier League without Mbeumo and Wissa around?
And with the way all the other clubs have been bolstering their
Yeah,
squads.
exactly. And other clubs have been buying better than them.
I think so.
For me,
They'll stay.
for me, Brentford, for me personally, they'll do well to stay. I think they go down.
They'll stay.
I think they go down.
They'll stay.
Fair enough. I think they go down.
Sunderland, you're right.
Very interesting. That's a good shout. That's one of the teams I believe they will struggle, but just because of their philosophy, and as we speak again, the transfer window is not yet closed, and their philosophy of recruitment, I believe them and Brighton really have a good way to pretty much sell somebody, replace them. So I'm hoping for the sake of Brentford that they can actually replace at least 1 or 2
I like how you think.
and not that. But for me, I believe Wolves have been surviving for too long. I think Wolves may be going down.
You think so?
I believe Wolves may be going down. The loss of Cunha, I think it's going to be very, very, very difficult for them to still get the same output, because even the way they play, it's not.
Yeah.
For me, when I watch Brentford, they have that possession, but like they're not going to lose a lot of games, like 4 or 5. It's not going to be swinging either which way. For Wolves, I think because they don't have the output
factor,
and X factor, they're not going to do so well. Unfortunately, as much as love the Newcastle and Sunderland derby, we're only going to see 2 games, and they'll be back.
They'll be back in the
They'll be back in the championship, and my other one actually is Leeds United. Yeah, will also be Sunderland for the one-hit wonder. Leeds United.
Leeds might stay.
Do you think they'll stay?
They will. I think. I think they'll do that.
Interesting. Yeah.
On your point for Brentford being able to sell and sign like Brighton.
Oh well, no. Brighton is the upper echelon.
But I'd like to ask you, what has given you that evidence that Brentford are able to sell their top players and sign someone to still perform?
No, that's what I'm hoping they can do. From how they've come up, I mean, I don't have the names.
Because
Mbeumo
has been there since the championship days.
Yeah.
Wissa has been there since the championship days. Ivan Toney was there since the championship days. Left last season. These are people. They've not been in such a scenario where they have to replace these big players. So now it's a problem. They've not been in such a situation.
Big problem.
Big problem.
No, that's true. I think with how they play, I believe
But their philosophy will be different because they have a different manager.
That's true. Again, I just don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna.
Fair enough.
I don't think they're gonna
Kimathi?
go down. Yeah.
Well, your 3 relegation candidates.
Sunderland.
Mm-hmm.
What are the other ones that are just been promoted?
Burnley and Leeds.
Leeds.
Yeah, those ones.
Everyone goes out.
You know what? That's what happened last season.
Possible, yeah.
That's what happened last season.
Yeah.
The three that came up went straight down.
Went straight down, and I think they will do that. Leeds, they will score a lot of good goals, like in the championship, the way those guys have banners. So they will score good goals. They will go on a good run. Burnley, I don't know if they still have something from Vincent Company.
The Scott Parker is now the manager.
Yeah,
Scott Parker.
Scott Parker.
Yeah.
He's still around. Wow.
And you know what? Funny enough, I think if I'm not wrong, Burnley scored the most goals.
Yeah, yes, there's a
Championship.
philosophy.
Yeah.
So
That's
they will bring excitement, but Sunderland, there's no way.
Okay. All right.
There's
Alex,
no way.
who are your three relegation candidates?
I'm thinking that Sunderland for sure is number 20. Let's just call a spade a spade. I also think that Burnley are not going to make it through. But I do think that Leeds will stay in. So my third and last pick for relegation is Fulham.
Fulham. Ooh, that's an interesting.
You know what? I think they're going to finish quite low as well. I think they're going to finish quite low. And
Wow.
They didn't.
Fulham?
Personally, I don't think they have the capacity.
They don't have it in them for this
And
season.
they don't have the capacity. Other teams, Fulham, mind you, have what? The 0 players.
They've done absolutely nothing.
Other teams around them
This
have
transfer window.
gotten better. They haven't bought anything. They haven't sold anything. As of this moment, as we shoot this video on the Sunday, the 10th of August, nothing, no business at all. I think they finished quite low.
Yeah. So those are my top three. Sorry, my bottom three.
Interesting, guys. Those are some really interesting takes. We will see what happens towards the end of the season. We will see. We'll get back to that way later on.
Now I'll be right.
Next segment here. Who wins the Golden Boot?
Carol, you want to start? Or
It's not Gyökeres, just a minute.
Yeah.
What's that? Let me cut you short real quick.
What's that?
Golden Boot is not Gyökeres.
What's that?
Look at this guy.
I think it's this. I think it's this.
You know what?
Watch this space.
I'm gonna let. So, Cairo, are you saying Gyökeres wins the
Locked
Golden
in.
Boot?
Locked in.
He wins the Golden Boot.
Wins the golden boot.
Kimani?
Him saying that wearing a Chelsea shirt.
Kimani.
For me, Haaland.
Haaland?
Yeah.
How about you, Alex?
Haaland or Salah?
I go Haaland.
There's no or.
I go Haaland.
Then
I
Haaland.
go Haaland. Haaland wins
Yeah,
the Golden Boot this.
You guys, you're almost there. Scandinavian.
Scandinavian.
It's just it's a different country.
You know what?
But it's okay.
We're so close, huh? We're so close.
so close. We're right there. You know,
Guys, we're gonna
geography.
although we've
Come here and there.
that we've spoken about, we'll probably play in the first game week. We will revisit that again next weekend. Stay tuned for that one. We will revisit the goal scorer for next week.
Mamouche. It's just a snippet. Mamouche. Mamouche.
Yeah. That's one.
You'd say that Haaland or
It doesn't even work at response.
Wow.
Just leave it as it is.
Moving.
But I said Haaland at the first.
I can't
I said Haaland at the first.
Okay,
So,
that's
yeah.
your first.
Okay.
Okay.
People. Now, I know we all have our own little bit of spicy hot takes for the season. Huh? It's time for me to hear them, you know? I want you each to have one bold take. One bold take. This will be replayed in case things go well for this player or this club that you're about to mention. Every time something happens, it will be replayed. It will be put out there. I'm gonna start with Kimathi. Yeah.
So it's just in this that
Give me
well.
one. No, it doesn't have to be
not
well.
bad.
It has to be
okay.
bad. It has to be. It could be bad. Give me one bold take.
This season is not gonna be a good season for Salah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We've had it before.
You heard it here first.
Before.
Yeah.
And it's
Salah, you know the 6th season wonder. You know.
At this point.
that's just me. I don't want people, but
You know what?
Salah, it's time. It's
Fair
time.
enough. Alex, what do you think? What's your hot take for the season?
My hot take for this season is that Victor Gyökeres is not cracking 15 goals.
Aye, bro, that's such
Wow.
a long shot.
Wow.
Wow.
I know that colleague here was talking about Golden Boot,
Wow.
but
Oh my.
Wow.
15?
I don't think it's even cracked.
Damn.
15?
15. I don't think it's.
Bro, Nicholas Jackson got 15.
I know. So as I'm saying, I don't think he's gonna have a better season than Nicholas Jackson last year.
No.
Oh my God. Carol,
Get off the fight.
Carol, let's just that's not even a hot take. That's just
I will not be.
We are not entertaining.
We're not entertaining that. We're not entertaining that. We're not entertaining that.
You know what?
Jesus,
You're not entertaining that.
Carol, you go next.
Me.
What's your hot take?
My hot take is Aston Villa will finish in the top 6.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
No, okay. I think that's a warm take.
It's one.
I think it's a
one.
warm take.
With all that's happened, you think it's one? I can change it.
The reason I think it's warm
Villa.
because they finished in and around the area.
Yeah, they were top 8 last year. So
So they finished they finished sixth. They finished sixth last year
Were they?
yeah.
because Newcastle finished fifth and they finished sixth. So it's a warm
I
take
don't-
because
Yeah.
they were there last year. So if they finish there again this year, it's not like, oh my god, they finished sixth. Yeah, so I don't think it's that much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what they are talking about. Let's listen to Ted's host.
I'll switch it then. I'll
Okay.
make it hot. I'll make it hot.
He's warming it up. He's warming it up. Add some spice in there. Add some spice in that hot take.
Just for you, man.
Yeah.
Just for you.
Eh.
United, top 3. Lock it in.
That is a hot take.
United, top 3.
That is a hot take. You know what? But you know what? He's now ruined my hot. He's now ruined my hot take because my hot take. You had my top 4. I don't expect it to happen, but I think that there would be a possibility, especially if Man United, as I say, it's a big if. But if Man United conclude the signing of Believer, for me, I think they finish in the top 4. That's a hot take.
Yeah, I think they should.
Yes, top 3.
Okay, fair enough. I finished top 4. I
I
say
think they
top.
would, or you think they should?
They should finish in the top 4.
Wow.
That squad is good enough to
I
finish in
agree
the
with
top
that statement.
4. They're good enough to finish in the top 4. For me, that squad is good enough to finish in the top 4. Whether Amorim has the capacity to help them get there is a different story.
Yep.
It's a different story.
Yep.
But my opinion, that squad is good enough to finish in the top 4. In my personal opinion, that is my hot take.
Oh, and just to add, by the way, this means that they're the only team in Manchester that'll finish in the top 4.
Oh,
That's my ad.
really?
If Man United are
Only
finishing,
one Manchester
there's
team.
only one Manchester team. Is
So if United finishes in the top 4, you
That's
think
it,
you ain't gonna be there? Oh,
Really, Carol?
that's interesting.
You know what? Someone clip that.
You
Nah.
you gotta clip that.
Help us.
It may be the shirt. It may be the shirt that I'm wearing. It may be the shirt that I'm wearing. But
It's disrupting the
only
previous-
one Manchester team is finishing in the top 4.
And you think that's United?
It
I'm
could
not
be.
taking back my hot take.
Yeah.
Put 2 and 2 together.
No, I respect that. Stand your ground. I respect that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can take what?
You know,
you can
it's
take
fair
it
enough.
somewhere else. So anyway.
I like this. This is engagement. Guys, comment what you guys think is your hot take.
Chelsea
You know?
is going to win the league, so just know that. Put your bets. Chelsea is going to win the league.
Guys, make sure you comment your hot takes, you know? Give us what you guys think. Your hot take and who you think is delusional amongst all 4 of us, who you think is actually crazy, you know? But, you know, I want to move on, yeah? Because we don't have all day here, guys.
Of course.
Who is your surprise package? What team or player is your surprise package? Who do you think is going to surprise the league this season?
That's a player or a team?
It could be anything. It could be any. Who do you think is going to surprise the league this year?
Joao Pedro and Chelsea.
Joao Pedro and Chelsea
Yeah.
surprise the league. You're expected to do well, my friend.
No. He is going to change.
No, not Joao Pedro.
What?
Chelsea is expected to do well. So how would they surprise us?
Exactly by that.
But that won't be surprising.
That wouldn't be a surprise.
Like it's if they don't do well.
No. The way we are going to do it.
Oh,
That
could
is
you expound
where-
on that? Could you expound on
Yes.
that? How are they going to do it? That
No,
surprises.
because you're not understanding how Chelsea is actually working at this point in time. How we are going to win the league. The game that we will play. The way we will play football. That is where it is going to be surprising. And you can quote me this. You can quote me on this. That is the surprising part. It's okay. You know, these things happen.
Wonderful.
It's fine.
Cairo, what is your surprise package?
My surprise. What's crazy to me is that there are two Chelsea fans here, but they're different. They're different. But anyway, for me, actually, yes, we're rivals, but I'm really excited to see Kudus doing well. So for me, it would be yeah.
Kudus is the surprise package.
My
of the
surprise
season?
package is Kudus because I believe he's always been performing and now has a platform to even showcase his skills and what he can do. For me, Kudus.
Wow.
Kudus is a surprise package.
Okay, good. How about you, Alex?
I think my surprise package is gonna be Esteban, and I'm gonna give one call right now, and the call is gonna be Young Player of the Year,
Oh,
Esteban.
you think he's gonna get that much game time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Over who?
We can just play with Esteban on the right, can play Pep Neto on the left, has Cole Palmer down in the middle, and then Joao Pedro as treasure.
So that means your
Then-
signing Bino Gittins is on the bench, and your other prospective signing Garnacho might also be on the bench. So both players on the bench.
Do you remember when I mentioned earlier that we have European football and other cup competitions?
Fair enough.
Something we don't understand. They do not
And also-
understand that kind of component.
Also-
We have multiple competitions.
Also for Garnacho, I never thought he was gonna be, fighting for a position that much. He's definitely gonna be a squad player.
That
But for Gittins, I agree. That one is a player that I think is a lot more exciting than Garnacho.
fair enough.
But the squad depth is still important, and I think that Esteban, the skills he's been showing, has been moments of brilliance. And at his age,
We've invested a lot.
continues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've invested a lot in.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah,
It's quite
I think
interesting.
so.
Yeah, so that's gonna be my surprise for this season.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, I have quite a couple, but those are the younger players. But that's for Arsenal.
Like Nichols.
No, Max Dahman is going to play some games. He won't play a lot of games, but watch that young boy. watch Max Dahman. Yeah.
This is quite interesting. I've really enjoyed this. You know, this as a first episode. You know, with our predictions, as this league does start next weekend, so obviously we're excited for the Premier League to come back and support our teams. And we've got a big game next weekend. Yeah, we've got Arsenal versus Manchester United. We will do our watch along with Cairo here. Cairo and I will do a watch along. So stay tuned for that for next week. As you can see, he's very confident.
No.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. You know what? We'll see how it goes. But I'm very excited. We are all very excited for the upcoming season, and we want you guys to come along with us on this journey. And it's gonna be a fun ride. I know we've only started, but things are only gonna get better from especially us and the content that we have planned for you guys. Amazing stuff. Yeah. So follow, subscribe, share, follow us on socials, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of it. We're going to have the links down below. Please follow and share. There's more to come. And this has been For At The Back. And what do we say? Chillin'.
Vale.
See you next week.
For the back.